Alright guys, you're welcome back to Slick Academies, and today we'll be treating the microscope. Remember, I mentioned in passing in my very first video in this series that we have a branch of biology that is called microbiology. Simply means the study of living things that we cannot see with our naked eyes, but we can actually see with the aid of a microscope. Today we are looking at the microscope, the instrument, the equipment itself. So a microscope is an instrument widely used to magnify and resolve the image of an object that is invisible to the naked eye. So let us quickly mention some examples of the microscope. So we have the compound microscope, the dissection or stereo microscope, and electron microscope, and simple microscope. A lot of you must have seen microscope instruments in your school, so I'm going to be sharing some images so that you look through. Okay, so this is the compound microscope. This is the compound microscope, and this is a simple microscope. You can see this has a light source of its own, and this is always a mirror, so you can always direct it to the sunlight and direct the light into the stage. And then this is a dissecting microscope or a stereo microscope. And finally, this is an electron microscope, very big and expensive. You cannot find this in secondary schools, and even in many universities it has to be specialized laboratories of research that actually apply this. Okay, so let's quickly look at the parts of a microscope. And we have here the eyepiece, and then we have the revolving nose piece. We'll mention what their uses are very soon. And we have the objective lenses. So we have close to 3 or 4 objective lenses here. And then we have the arm, the rack stop, the stage, the focus, the coarse focus, or some people call it the coarse adjustment knob. And then we have the fine focus or the fine adjustment knob. Now this is an illuminator, that is the source of light, and this is the base, the condenser, and then the stage. Okay, so let's quickly look at the functions of these different parts. Now the eyepiece or the ocular piece is the point through which you view the things that are you placed on the stage. All right, so you view your specimen through, you put your eyes here, the eyepiece. Then the revolving nose piece actually helps to hold the objectives. All right, connects the objectives to the what, to the eyepiece. Because with this revolving nose piece, you can now, these objective lenses, you can now actually rotate it. That's why it's called the revolving. So you can rotate it and select which of the lenses you want to use. We have different magnifications or within the objective lenses, so you choose the one that is most appropriate for you. And then we have the arm. The arm is where you can carry the microscope. Then we have the stage clip and the stage. Now the stage is where you place your specimen, and you always put your specimen on a glassy material we call a slide. So you place the slide on the stage, and for you to make sure that the slide does not slip off the stage, you use what we call the stage clip to hold it fast. Then the fine on the coarse adjustment knobs. The coarse adjustment knobs is used to actually move the stage up and down, and then the fine adjustment knob is used to make the specimen you are viewing to be a lot more clearer to the eye. The condenser directs, okay, let's first of all talk about the illuminator, which is the source of light. It provides the light that goes into the what, the stage, and the condenser ensures that the light goes directly and falls on the specimen that you've placed on the stage, because on the stage there is a little hole here. So it is through this hole that the light from the illuminator gets up to the stage and falls on the specimen. And then we have the base. All right, the base is that part of the microscope that carries the weight of the microscope. So it carries its weight efficiently and ensures that the microscope stands independently while the researcher is working. Okay, so that's it on the microscope. Thank you for joining us thus far. And if you're enjoying this series, please like, share, and comment, and also share with us any part of biology that you wish to understand further, and we'll look into it. Thank you, and see you in my next class.